the council families will try to kill you and your sister. Whoever does wins the high seat and controls everything.
Everything?
The world.
You're telling me you didn't know your fiancé was in a devil cult?
Listen, if you don't do exactly what I say, we are going to die.
So it begins.
How's it going, guys? Welcome back to my channel and time for another episode of Luke's Reviews. On today's video, dearly beloved, it is round 2 of the wedding from literal hell as the bride is back on the run again, and this time has a partner in tow. This is my review of Ready or Not 2. Here I come. Picking up exactly where we last left the blood-drenched bride, Grace is thrown back into the lion's den as the larger council that the former Ladomises belong to are enacting a new hunt. This time round, Grace is targeted from different groups of families, all wanting to be the one to kill her. The winner will assume control of pretty much the whole world, and all Grace has to do is survive until dawn. The additional downside is she is handcuffed to her estranged younger sister. 2019's Ready or Not wasn't exactly the sort of film that needed a sequel. It was tight, lean, and quite a novel concept for a screenplay that, in the hands of the Radio Silence team, gave us a bloody fun time at the movies. And when news dropped of a sequel with the cast and the crew all returning, hopes were pretty high. Therefore, I am saddened to say that Ready or Not 2 Here I Come was a bit disappointing. It by no means reached the same heights as the first film. What didn't work for me the most was the relationship between Grace and her sister Faith, played by Kathryn Newton. In the first film, Grace was a lone wolf, with only her and her alone to rely on. But now in the sequel, she has her sister, so she has someone to play off against. Except Faith appears to be belligerent to the entire situation at play, even as she witnesses people blowing up in front of her and trying to kill her. She wants to take any given moment that is a life and death situation and turn it into a family therapy discussion as they try to get to the root of the issue. I understand that in a screenplay that needs to advance this relationship, that at some point has to happen. But when you're substituting that instead of logic and playing a smart game, which is what the first movie did, you're really not winning me over here. Because I think it speaks to a larger issue that we have with the screenplay in the sequel. Let's look at the first film. By no means, the first Ready or Not is not high caliber level filmmaking, but it is smart. You buy into the decisions that the characters are making. In the sequel, it's not just Faith that's devoid of logic. So many of the characters are, including Grace. There are painful, generic tropes of characters surviving and brushing off the most debilitating of injuries and seemingly showing no repercussions from it. Other moments where a character can literally escape the situation, can run free, and yet make benign, silly decisions that, of course, echo into a long domino line of other shit that goes wrong because we need that to happen for the plot to progress. What we end up with is a sequel that comfortably fits the bill for trashy entertainment. And that might be alright for some, but that, in my eyes, is a significant step down, not just from the first film, but from what we're used to seeing from the Radio Silence crew. However, the film is by no means a total loss. Samara Weaving continues to certify herself as a terrific scream queen, and her bride has well and truly become a horror icon. Kathryn Newton did start off quite grating, but I do put that down more to the writing than Newton herself. The chaotic council of different families was actually very enjoyable to watch. They are a mixture of different skills and also just an overall sense of investment into the inner workings of the council itself, which does make for some very enjoyable escapades. Shawn Hatosy is pretty intimidating as the closest thing that this film has to a primary antagonist, and I also enjoyed the very dry sense of humour from Elijah Wood's satanic lawyer. There are some nifty kills. I will more than give it that as well. The violence is toned down quite considerably from the first film. It's a lot more cartoonish as opposed to anything truly graphic. I think much of the movie-going audience will enjoy their time with Ready or Not 2, and they wouldn't be wrong. I just think it's a shame that the film feels like such a significant step down from its predecessor and is one I'm unlikely to choose to revisit. A lot of the suspense is swapped out for bickering, and the writing was nowhere near as creative. Yeah, there's some decent kills and a third act that delivers on the crazy, but otherwise, Ready or Not 2, Here I Come was underwhelming. So I'm going to give Ready or Not 2, Here I Come a 5.5 out of 10. Anyway, guys, those were my thoughts on Ready or Not 2, Here I Come. Have you had a chance to see the film yet? What did you think? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And my question to you, even though I didn't think that this sequel was particularly that great, I feel comfortable in saying that The Bride has cemented herself as a modern horror icon. But I want to ask you, who do you think is the best horror icon of the past 10 years? And I don't necessarily want any horror icons that have appeared much earlier and we've just had a sequel that brings them back into the fold. I want an original character who debuted within the past 10 years. But that's all the time we have for today. So thank you very much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next video. Hello, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to click that like button, and if you aren't already, click that subscribe button too.